I ask everyone who has not yet discovered their talents to give more power and search for their hidden talent. Because every human have born with untalent. The talent requires effort to uncover it. Talent does not come easy. I know the professor does not provide the necessary opportunity, but by means of this guarantee, we must strive to research, and absolutely we will reach our conclusion.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Elovan Stories. Thanks for coming on the road with us today. I'm your host and driver, Bastian. We've been waiting just for you and kept you a seat by the window side. Like every week. Fonzie is in first gear already and we are good to go. So buckle up and get comfortable, because today we're going on a very special journey. All the way from Homs in Syria to Neuss in Germany. Here with me in the yellow van today is Amjad Ramadan, a writer and poet from the city of Homs in Syria, who is now living in Germany. And to support and also to introduce Amjad a little better, because she's actually the reason why Amjad is here with us on the yellow van today, is Vicky Markolefa, communications expert, photographer, and filmmaker from Greece, and my partner in crime. Hello, Amjad, and hello, Vicky, to the yellow van.
Yeah, hello, Bastian. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast, The Elovan Stories, and I am so glad to share my experience with you.
I am, and I think I can say we are so very happy to have you here, Amjad. It is actually an interview that we have been looking forward to for quite some time, and we're very, very happy that it is happening today.
Yeah, welcome.
So you want to say something, Vicky?
Yeah, of course. It's also for me a great pleasure to at least, hear and be able to speak with Amjad after all these years that we haven't seen each other. We had a very brief acquaintance, but for me, he always remembered in my memory as a very inspiring person and a very bright young man that I would very much like to hear more of his poetry and of his life experience. So thank you very much, Basti, for putting this podcast together. It's a pleasure.
It is an absolute pleasure. And we will get into how you guys actually
and
met
to Amjad for accepting one more time to speak to us, because I think it's really, for me, it opens my heart. It makes my heart shine. Thanks so much.
Thank you a lot, Vicky.
Same for me. So now let's start with the very important things. As always, like, what are you drinking? What drink did you pour yourself, Amjad?
I'm drinking mata. It's one special drink in Syria. I don't know if you know it. It's like a green tea, but it's a specialty, and you put a little bit of mata inside the cups and then the hot water. Just that's all.
Nice. Is that a bit like mate tea? It sounds a little familiar.
Yeah.
Is it? No.
Yeah,
is it
right,
related? All right. Okay.
Nice.
Very. Because of, I think there is a very strong tea culture in the Arabic culture. I decided to make myself a mint tea today with lots of honey.
Yeah, and also I prefer to drink mate without sugar. It's not, it's bitter. It's bitter, but when you are drinking without sugar, you will become more healthy, and also for your stomach, it will be more healthy and better.
What are you drinking, Vicky?
I'm on the unhealthy side of things, and I'm having wine.
There's nothing wrong with a good glass of wine. Because this is not a visual podcast, I can say from this part of mine, it's a white wine. And are you enjoying it? Is it good?
Yes, so far so good. Thank you.
So far so good. Excellent. Right. So, Amjad, would you be so kind as to describe to us, or at first tell us where you are right now? Where are we recording this podcast?
Right now, as you know, that I am living in Neuss with my family. I became Germany 3 years ago. Also, the first step it was also here in Neuss. with my brothers. And after 1 year, my family coming also from Greece because they was living with me in the camps there where I meet Vicky. Since 3 years, I'm living here in Neuss and looking for new future and looking if I can continue my studying. And I'm making also now C1 high school, the language course. With more target. And I hope one day I will get my target.
I am very, very convinced that you will. If you had to pick something in that room, your favorite item in that room, what would that be?
It will be the pictures, my poems, because I have a lot of pictures on the wall in my room. I have a lot of, and also my library and the books.
So the books are really something that you value very, very strongly. Well,
I can, between the books, between the words, and I can find myself.
Nice. Very nice. So now what I would do is I would read a little short introduction of you so that everybody knows a little bit more about you and where you come from, a little bit of your background. And I will read through it. And then right afterwards, you can tell me that was absolutely wrong what I said there, or you can back it up. So are you ready?
Yeah, ready.
All right. So here it goes. Amjad Ramadan was born in Homs, Syria, in 1995. He left Syria due to the civil war and fled to Turkey in 2012 at the age of 17. He lived in Kastamonou for 4 years, where he enrolled at the local university to study journalism. Due to Amjad's financial situation, he had to withdraw before any of the courses had even started and without his curiosity having been quenched. He decided to go to Europe for a better future perspective and arrived on the Greek island of Lesvos in 2016. Amjad's arrival coincided with the closing of the Balkan route that had until then been among the preliminary transit routes for refugees crossing the Aegean into Greece and subsequently traveling on further into Europe. Like thousands of others, Amjad got stuck at the Greek-North-Macedonian border at Idomeni. This is also where Amjad met Vicky, and a short account of their history will follow right after this introduction. Amjad spent 8 months in the makeshift camp of Idomeni that, at its height, had roughly 15,000 people dwelling in an area that had only had an emergency strategy for 5,000 people. It was during this time that I also was in Idomeni, only for about 6 weeks, and having Fonzie as a luxury domicile amidst all the cheap tents that were placed there and were available. Being welcomed, fed, and groomed by our neighbors from Syria, the Jiran, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, who shared everything with us, no matter how cold or wet the day would be. And it was very cold and it was very wet a lot of the days back then, when nothing else but summer tents were available, when the mud was ankle deep and disease was spreading throughout the camp. My idea of hospitality is to this day entirely rooted in my experiences there and the virtue of spirit that was heaped upon me. I only digress here to bear witness to the fact that 8 months in Idomeni are an eternity, but that they can also build a spirit. One of the many reasons why Amjad says that being a refugee is a badge one should wear with pride. Amjad joined the UNHCR refugee program and was first taken to a newly opened camp in Evosmos, close to Thessaloniki in the north of Greece. After roughly 2 more years, Amjad was accepted as a refugee in Germany, where he was allowed to join his older brother in the city of Neuss, where he has been living ever since. And now this long journey has brought him aboard the Elovan, and I couldn't be happier and prouder to have him here with us today. So welcome aboard the Elovan, Amjad.
Thank you very much for your beautiful biography, and I really can't find words to thank you. It's so friendly from you, and I really wonder if I am the one who you are going to talk about.
No, I'm totally talking about you. That was all you, Amjad. It was all you, Amjad.
Thank you very much.
It is a pleasure. It is an absolute pleasure, and it is really such a big pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Very nice. I'm glad you liked the introduction. Now, as I promised as well, I would just very quickly maybe have you and Vicky just tell us how you actually met in Idomeni at that time, what that part of the your shared history just for a moment.
Should I start?
Whoever of you wants to start.
I could. At the time, I was working for Doctors Without Borders, Médecins Sans Frontières, and we were. I was a communications manager for the organization there, so I spent a lot of time in Polycastro and in Idomeni. And in one occasion, we were looking for people who would like to share their life experience, and we were looking for people who could redefine the idea of a refugee, who could show that refugees are not just people put in the middle of somewhere in a tent, that they are people with qualities, that they are people like everyone else, obviously, just stuck up in a weird situation, whatever that situation may be. And we were looking for people who would like to share their stories with us and to show that we have many things in common with all of us in Europe, who many of us have a very different reality to what was happening back then and what is happening right now. So one of our field staff members who had met with Amjad recommended that it was Hamed, actually, he was a cultural mediator at the time, recommended that we get to know Amjad. I didn't know him. We didn't meet in person. He was recommended as a very bright person who lives with his family in Polycastro, which was a little bit further than Idomeni, because Idomeni was packed at the time. So there was a smaller, let's say, settlement in Polycastro, and we have arranged some media interviews because we wanted this story to have publicity. So we met Amjad, and Amjad was very kind enough to share his life story with us. But the most, for me, valuable thing that he shared was his poetry. The MSF staff translated the poems with the help of Amjad, and the poems were published all over Greek media, and the response was amazing, because we were very used to seeing refugees as just numbers, like how many refugees are here, how many migrants are there, all of that. So it was one of the for me, most touching and important stories that I did while working for the organization. And it is also why I am quite grateful for working for that organization, because if it hadn't been for that opportunity, I wouldn't have met a person like Amjad. So I am grateful very much for that interview. It went almost viral in the Greek media, and for me it helped to bring the idea to people that just because things happen that way and the person ended up living in a tent for one or another reason, that does take nothing away from their value as humans, and that there are so many valuable people who are stuck in situations that they are not to be blamed for, that we should take a second look. And I think that was one of the most interesting stories I've ever done in my life. And I am very grateful until this day that Amjad was kind enough to give me that interview. So thank you again, my friend.
Yeah,
very much.
Thank you very much.
And just because this is not a visual podcast, as I have already established, I have to just quickly say that Vicky is really very, very emotional about this. And sitting next to her is very beautiful to also see how this has obviously touched her on a very deep level, spending some time with you. And also it is very beautiful to have you guys here together, because the original idea of the Elovan was to bring people closer together despite quarantines and social distancing. And I think this is one very beautiful example of that idea, at least coming through a little bit with you meeting here today. So I'm very, very happy about that. Do you want to add anything to Vicky's story right now, how you met Amjad?
Yeah, this Vicky, what she said, it was right. That's and some story before I meet Vicky that I got some virus and I become ill. Because of this virus, I went in the hospital about 15 days, and also I was in so bad situation, and I was really, really tired. And at that moment, I had my first poem. I have been writing my first poem, and then I meet medicine. Some friends there, they was talking about if I can meet some journalists and to share my poems with them, to translate it. Also, it was there one doctor. I don't remember exactly the name. It was so friendly, and he helping me to meet Vicky. And then I had an interview with Vicky, and also I am very, very, very glad to meet Vicky there. And she's also very so friendly, and she had feeling me and what I was feeling. At that moment, it was really, really hard me, because, when you hear the people, they are talking about you, they think that you are coming from a desert. They don't believe that we are in Syria. We have everything, that we're coming from one life, that our life was broken, and we had everything. Also in the Turkey, also they asking us, like in Greece too, they had asking us if we have in Syria television, or we have phones, or we have live. I don't know from where they bring this idea, what they are thinking about Syria. They think that we come from a desert. That thing's what making me really tired and really sad. And that's the PowerPoint that changed me, and I start to write it was my first poem what I writing, and I share it with Vicky and some of friends there. With this medicine there, they had translated to English, and they translated also to Greece language, and also Vicky had shared it in the Greece median. It also, I am very glad to meet to know Vicky, to meet Vicky, and also to share my experience, and to let all the people know that we are the Syrian people, that we had a really beautiful life, and the really beautiful, we are one country who has a very beautiful and amazing civilization. And our civilization, it's really broken after this war. This war, it's never, this war, the war have broken everything. The stone and the human being have broken everything. At that moment, I am very happy that I have one friend like Vicky, and she remembered me after all these years. And yeah.
I think this is definitely something we would also very much like to. This is one of the reasons also why we have you here, to explore a little bit what you just said, a lot of the prejudices around Syria, and people only seeing Syria as a source of civil war, more or less, or a source of people that are coming over into Europe without giving any value to the beautiful culture that Syria had and still has. And which is something that has been been more and more forgotten because of all the other overwhelming news that people just take in, and this limitation of their perspective there. So this really, is something.
Yeah,
we hope
Bastian,
to explore a little bit.
Yeah, you have right. Bastian, it's really hard when you hear something in your ear. The people, they say that you come in them countries to take them job, to take them works, to take them money, to take. We have not free choice that we come to Greece, or we come to Turkey, or come to Europe. We enforced to leave Syria. I didn't choose to leave Syria or something. I had a very beautiful life. I have a very beautiful dreams and very beautiful friends. Everything, it's in 1 second gonna broken.
Yes. And the reasons why you left, I think this is also one of the reasons why maybe it would be good to just from now move a little bit into also the reasons why you left Syria, because in order to understand why, and how beautiful it was, it is also important to understand what a motivation is to leave something that is so beautiful and so rich in culture behind. And
in Syria, it's very difficult to say your opinion. It's very difficult. You can't say your opinion. Always you have to say yes, yes, yes. Always for everything. You can't, you don't have the choice to choose what you like or what you feel. Everything you have to say yes, and you must to put on your heart, and always to say yes. Doesn't matter you like or you don't like. That was also, it's really hard because we are looking for a freedom, and and the freedom. I don't mean it's to destroy the country, but I mean with the freedom that's to can say your opinion. to share your experience. That I like, that I don't like. I want for my country and for all the people in all the world for a future, a better future. I don't want to destroy anything, no dreams, not to destroy no dreams, no countries, no peoples. But I have also to accepting every idea from anyone. But in Syria, it's very difficult. It's very, very, very difficult. That's why the reasons we have fled the country.
Yes, and also speaking of dreams, I think you can only really value other people's dreams if you value your own. And I think one of the reasons, most probably is also that there was no possibility for you, and this is where freedom comes in as well, to have any of that in Syria. And also that's one of the aspects. The other thing is just, I think, to break it down also to fearing for your life every single day. When we come to freedom is one thing, but fearing for your life is another thing. And everybody who would be in a situation would also leave their homes. And this is what you did, I believe, right?
Yeah, that is right. Many peoples, they have understood the freedom, like to destroy the countries, to make something terrorist things. But the freedom, that's to can say your opinion, to look for the better future, and to look for a better life for your family, for yourself. In the Syria, always you have to say for the president, always.
Yes. Can I ask you a question that I want to just make sure, because you just said also that your first poem, right, about Vicky and meeting, was that your first poem ever? Or was that the first poem you wrote there in Idomeni in Greece? Or was it the first time you really turned to poetry?
Yeah, that's, I was in the tent at that moment. I was full. I was very optimistic person, and I was in the very bad situations, and I was looking something that can help me, can leave the pain, what it's, controlling me. And I was screaming many nights. And also I woke up in the middle of night. You know how many nights I woke up because of the winter water dropped in my ear, and how many morning I woke it up because of the sun of hell shining in my refugee universe, burns the light in my eyes. And how many days I felt dying because of the cold that eating my bones. At that moment, it was so necessary to search something can help me to live a pain. And finally, I found the writing, because, writing, it's the way of survival. And after every poem I have been writing, I feel so much better, like I am back as a child, because writing, it's my way of survival and my medicine for healing. At that moment, I really was sick, and I got in hospital for 15 days. And with antibiotics, God, that I'm really thanks for God that I'm healthy again. And that's why my starting with writing.
So yes, Vicky.
I think also what you mentioned before, Amjad, about the freedom of speech and freedom of expression. When you left Syria, also being in Greece, in my experience, freedom of expression was also very limited, because people were not listening to what people on the road were saying. They were not listening at all. They just listened to their own ideas and their own head. Did the poetry help you express yourself and create this freedom of expression on your own, in your tent? Was poetry something that made you conquer this freedom, made you get this freedom for yourself, even though it was not there? Was something poetry did for you?
Yeah, sometimes when you are feeling so tired, when you are feeling sick, else, and sometimes when you are looking for something can help you to leave a pain. And I found the writing after this poem, what I have been writing, I become really better. It doesn't matter. I know the government in Syria and also the government in all the world, they ignore our what we need, what we have, what we want. They ignore that. It's so, I know it's so hard, but when I can, when I can breathe again after all this pain, I can breathe again. It doesn't matter if they hear my voice or not, but me, I am looking for myself. I become really better after this writing. But one day all the people, they hear and they know what we need and what we are looking for.
Yes, I think it is also a way of memory, isn't it? Writing, and therefore knowing that whatever you are experiencing is something that will be remembered through you and other people reading it. And I think maybe in that there's also that freedom that you were describing.
Yeah, that's right. I spent 6 years in the tents between Turkey and Greece, and before coming Germany, and I had missing a dream, missing home, and missing love, missing life and friends. I was really lonely between the tents there. You can't imagine life under the shade of a tent roof when you are forced to live there. It's really hard, but it's really hard me when I remember that. But to be honest to you, the hard memories building the future with more power. They're really hard. I know at that moment it's really hard. I can't holding the pain, but now it's all memories, and these memories, I am very proud about that, and I am making my future. It's building the future with more power.
And it also builds your character, like I said earlier. It builds you as a person. So I think we've taken a lot of steps now all at once, and I would very much like, if you're okay with that, go through your journey a little bit, to describe it to us maybe a little bit more in a chronological way. But before we do that, because I believe that this poem is a very beautiful illustration, it is a very strong, maybe I should rather say, a very strong poem in describing your feeling when you left home. And so before you answer the question or describe your journey a little bit, it would be beautiful if you could read that poem to us in Arabic, because I believe, and we believe, Arabic is a very, very beautiful language that is heard far too seldom around here. And also believe, I honestly think that most probably a lot of people listening to this will have not heard anything like an Arabic poem read out to them. And one of the strong convictions for me is that transformation is something that happens by giving our attention to new things. So this is something, a way of giving our attention to new things by you reading that poem, and it's called Before Leaving.
Yeah,
right?
Before Leaving.
So would you be ready to read that for us? And we agreed beforehand that I would read the English version afterwards.
Sure.
Yes?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yes.
So I would ask you to start, please. And then right after I'll give the translated version.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Let's
ready
begin.
for you, Amjad. Yes.
Thank you. قبيل الرحيل على صوت القصف وأزيز الرصاص على وقع زمجرة الدبابات والصواريخ وصخب دوي القنابل الفراغية منها والمتفجرة على صوت النساء الثكالى والأمنيات العاريات صحت بها والدموع دماء إياك أن تترك يدي الحرب تلتهم السائرين والبارود لا يرحم العشاق أعطني يديك لا أريد أن أفجع بك لا أريد أن يبتر لي في العشق ساق.
Beautiful, very, very beautiful.
Nice.
It sounds so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And now, obviously, I have to say, before I even start, that, probably saying that is an insult to everybody listening to this, but and to you especially, but Arabic is obviously an incredibly rich language that I have no idea of how rich it is, and most people not speaking Arabic either. So, first of all, and then you have me reading it. So take everything with a grain of salt, but I will try my best, at least,
I hope,
to do it any bit of justice.
Something beautiful.
And thanks for being so optimistic. I feel a tremendous amount of pressure right now, but fine. I will get through it, and then afterwards you can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's fine.
Okay.
All right. So here's my honest try. Okay.
Okay.
Before leaving, by the sound of shelling and the roar of bullets, by the roar of tanks and missiles, and the roar of vacuum bombs and explosives, by the voice of the bereaved women and the naked wishes, I shouted at her, and the tears were blood. Never let go of my hand. The war devour the walkers. The walkers are consumed by war. And gunpowder is ruthless for lovers. Give me your hands. I do not want to be molested by you. I don't want to be amputated in love. A leg.
Beautiful. Great.
Well, history will be the judge of that, I suppose.
It's a beautiful poem and very, very emotional. Very emotional.
And very expressive. And I think a very good starting point also for you to maybe give us a little bit more of a background to the last 8 years and how you left home and ended up now in Germany.
You know, at that moment, I was in the school between my friends who was learning in the lesson. We had also mathematics lesson. I remember that very, very well. I never forgotten that day. At that moment, and when, you know, when my dad say we must leave Syria, and you know, I was never control myself. I was between my friends, but my mind and my heart, it's really far away. My friends, they was talking to me, and I never hear no one. I was really in isolation, you know. I never hear no one. And after some minutes, I woke it up. I say, what happened? And I don't know, something I feel that I will let everything see it. I never take nothing from my home, only the memories, the really hard memories. And this pain.
What do you remember about your home? Just quickly, sorry for interrupting you. If you think of homes now, what comes to mind first? What do you remember?
I remember the friends. And exactly in my home also, I remember my room. That's what I have. What I have enjoyed there when I am studying, and also to share the moments with the family, because I know everything it's gonna destroy it. I want one day to be back there in Syria to see, but a lot of friends, they are died now. They are underground. I don't know if I go back, I will see the life the same, which I had lived there. I don't know if I will like it too, but for sure, you know, sometimes you must put on your heart and to Skype your heart to looking for the new future, to looking new life. Because if you will stay with your memories, you will never have a good life. Never.
Yes, that's very, very wise. That's very true, I believe as well. You have to look to the future, not to the past, in order to make the most out of your life. I agree.
It's good when we learn something from the memories to build the future. But if we will stay with memories only for hard things, for these sad things, you know, we will never looking forward.
True.
Yeah, I agree entirely. Who did you leave homes with? Who did you leave your home with?
Now my home, it's really destroyed. One friend, since 1 year ago, he had sent me pictures. He was in the visit. He visited our village there, because, you know, we have one castle there, the Greek-North-Macedonian. There we have one castle, because I say in the beginning of this interview, our countries, it's full of civilization. We have a really great castle, you know, they said it's one name, France name, Greek-North-Macedonian. It's very big and it's so nice. One friend, he visit our village and he make pictures to me. He send it to me. It's really hard. It's nothing. It's nothing. Well, everything destroyed. Everything. We have one grab tree in the home, and this grab tree, it's gone.
I think, yes, Homs has been one of the many cities in Syria that have been bombed really, really badly.
The worst city have bombed. Yeah.
Yes. So, yes, it will be very difficult, like you said, to face that, I believe, when you ever return there. So then you moved from Homs and you ended up in Kastamonou, right? In Turkey.
After leaving Homs, we spent about 12 hours, more than 12 hours on the way to arrive in Turkey. I leave exactly, I remember the date, I remember the times also. At that moment, we leave our home at 6 o'clock a.m. in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
We drive with one car with some people. They protect us till arrive at the border with Turkey, and we arrive the mountain at 10 o'clock in the morning. And from 10 o'clock a.m. We start walking in the desert in the wild to Turkey and we arrive Turkey in 10 o'clock evening in the night. We spent 12 hours on the way. We was only walking. We have never, we never stay. We never take, we have a little bottle of water. We have some food, and that I was with my family, and also not all my family, they coming with us because at that moment they need too much money. And we hadn't all this money to give it for all the persons because at that moment we give about $1,000 for 4 persons, and 6 persons they need about 2,000. And that's moment we haven't all this money. That's why my dad say better to leave the guys, because if the government catch some guy of you, will go in jail and they don't know what will happen. And the women's at that moment, the government don't look at women's, and we leave only the guys and my mom and my dad. My dad also was sick. He fell down on the way. And in the end, we arrived in Turkey, and we had living in one camp. At that camp, it's very difficult. It was really, really difficult in the first 1 year. This year, it was really hard because it's the first year in my exile. And this year, I never accepted. I had a lot of problems, because I don't know no one there. Also, the new language, it's new, it's difficult. Different traditions, different habits, different cultures, and different language, by the way. No one understands.
Yes, it's a new everything. Everything.
It's everything new. No one understanding you and what you feel, what you like, what you want, how you feel. But in the end, I learned the language. I was looking, I make my high school there, and I registered. Right. And I registered in some university, said Kastamonou, in the north of Turkey. And also I confront many problems, finance problems, some problems. Also, I didn't find a home in the university houses there. It was really difficult, and I have private. I have to pay for the home if I will live there, because the university was in the north of Turkey, and my family was living in the other side. I spent to arrive this university about 20 hours with a bus.
Oh, wow.
What? Okay, yeah. So not the other side of town, but they were living on the other side of Turkey.
Yes.
Your whole family.
On the other side of Turkey. Wow. I spent 20 hours with a bus to arrive at university, and I must find one home in the university houses or somewhere, but I didn't find, and for some reasons, And also I was enforced to leave the university. I looking for some work. I collect some money with my brothers and the family helping us. And we come to this idea to leave Turkey because never we had life there.
Did you find any friends in Kastamonou? Did you find the opportunity to get together with some other people apart from your family?
And also the home, what I found there with my friend, also my friend, it's here living with me. We had the same, we have the same facultation there in the university, journalism. And also I hadn't found home. The home also to share it with people. Also I have to pay about, at that moment, to pay about $200. It's a very high number. It's a very high number for me. And that's why, because of this reason, I have leave Turkey.
Okay. Did you also work in Turkey? Because I hear, yes.
Yeah, I have worked a lot of works. I had worked
different ones, I suppose, in different
that's
areas.
Difficult, and there it's really hard. Also, the peoples, because some peoples they are not human. But also have people there, they are so friendly. But, you are not sure if after your work, when you are making your work, after that, if they will give you money or not. No one can protect you. No one can protect your claim.
You have no actual rights, pretty much. You have no legal rights, and you are at the mercy of whoever it is that you work for, basically.
And how much longer after did you decide to come to leave Turkey and go to Greece with your family? You went all together?
We went all together. But my father, he left Turkey before us, and we was waiting if he can take us. And it was really difficult because at that moment, we hadn't a passport for the family. And you say better to go in the sea, in the Middle Sea with inflatable boat, like all the people.
Yes.
Yeah. After 4 years, we become to this idea. I learned the language, I have life, I have friends there. And also, it was really the second leave. It was the second leaving. After creating all this life in Turkey, and we become to this idea to leave the country because it's not our country, not our cultures, not our traditions. It's really difficult because they don't give us papers, they don't give us documents. And I can't continue my studying. I will not stay all my life to work some work it's not passing to me.
Yes, especially also, not at, I think, 17, 18.
Yeah,
I think you were 17, 18, right?
17 years old. I was. And also we are a big family, about 7 persons. And if even I work there and my brothers, we were never enough to rent a home, to looking for ourselves. If I won't get married or something, I will never have life, just work. And I don't know, in the end of months, I will get my salary.
Yes, it is a life without perspective, and it is living at the mercy of others. It is a life that nobody wants. So I think, and nobody can endure for an indefinite amount of time. So I think that established, it is absolutely understandable why you were looking for a perspective outside of Turkey and Europe, of course. Can you do me or us a favor, because very often I think this is something that is not understood, and if this is, you don't want to revisit that, you just have to tell me. I don't want to, tell me anything where you're like, that's nothing that I want to share. But like the moment that you crossed over in that boat, as you called it, that dinghy, how was that crossing over from Turkey to Greece, to the island of Lesvos?
We get in one risk. We had a risk, We don't know if we will pass the sea with on a floatable boat or not. We don't know if we will stay alive or we will die. In the middle of sea, we spent 3 hours. Our tribe spent about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. It was really, really, the sea was really calm. But in the first 2 hours, the sea was so, the wave was so high, and the water coming inside our port, and the people was screaming, who was asking God to protect us. At that moment, I say to myself, okay, now the end, it's coming. The end is
It was
coming.
also pitch black darkness, I suppose, right? It was at night,
Right.
I suppose.
It was
Yeah,
in the
so
night.
you don't see anything, nothing.
Nothing. It's only water, you know. The right side of me, it's water. The left side of me, it's water. Behind me, water. Front of me, it's water. You know, the water also endless. You can't see the land. Nothing. You can't see nothing. I say, okay, this is the moment. It's the end come now. It's the end. But in the end, God protect us. We arrive the beach. And also, the people they was waiting us, the government of Greece, on many, many people they was waiting us there.
Yes, at least there are people waiting there in the best case scenario. Sometimes also it is nobody's waiting. That's also happened, but I'm very glad that you had people there waiting for you and welcoming you at least.
No, I think, Amjad, what you describe as an experience, unfortunately, I've heard from most people doing the crossover. It must have been a very difficult experience from you, but I can also say that you were also one of the lucky people who made the crossing, because with regards to the Greek authorities and the Turkish authorities, you know, there are many incidents at sea where you have people who push people back, who treat boats, you know, and it is as you said it, that because you were strong enough and because God helped you, you passed across, and I'm very happy.
Inshallah.
that you passed across.
Thank you.
I'm very happy.
Yes. You know, Vicky, it's difficult, you know, when we was in the middle of sea, also our inflatable boat, it was nearby. It was close as also they was in the middle of sea. And the Coast Guard, the police there in the sea, they was looking at us. They was seeing us. And they don't give us help. They don't help us. You know,
no,
and the other point, it's drowning. And the people, they was screaming, they asking about help, and no one they help with them. We was looking the people, them faces, how they going to die, but no one helped them. But really, to be honest, we are lucky, and we arrive in the land, and we create a new life.
How was it then when you arrived on Lesvos? You were welcomed by what I take were a couple of volunteer organizations, because they are largely there, and I think back in the time 2016, right? That was also still very much the case. So you were welcomed back by them, and then you were taken to Moria, or how did it continue from there for you?
The Red Cross, they was waiting us. Also, many of volunteers, they was waiting there.
Yes.
They help us. They take us in some camps there in Lesvos. We register there. We take ID cards like our name, the birthday, where we are from, and then they give it as Hartia. They say it. I don't know if I say right, Vicky.
Yes, very well, very good pronunciation. Not that I can be the judge of that, but Vicky here backs it up.
I can't believe you remember.
Yes, very
exactly.
good.
It is Hartia, exactly.
Yes,
Hartia,
papers, basically.
Yes, papers to come, you know. And then we was looking at ticket with a cheap to go in Asina. After 1 week, because it was a lot of people in this island in Lesvos.
Mm-hmm.
Lesvos, a lot of
Lesvos.
Lesvos.
Yes. So just for me to understand, also Lesvos, and then you were taken to Athens, and then after that you were taken to Evasmos in the north, close to Thessaloniki, right?
Yeah, not directly to Evasmos. Before Evasmos, we had lived in this gas station, Eco gas station, and for 8 months.
Yes, of course.
And after this, we go to in Evasmos.
Yes, sorry, I was jumping the gun here. That's also what I said earlier. Exactly, you were in on Lesvos. So from there, then you continued. You were taken with a boat to Athens, I suppose.
To
right?
Athens with one ship, yeah.
And how did it continue from there? So you stayed in Athens for how long?
We didn't stay. We just we pay a direct ticket from Athens to Thessaloniki. We go to Thessaloniki with a train. we didn't sleep at that moment. We sleep for some hours, short hours in one basket, in one basket space there in the Athens.
So a big indoor arena, basically, where they put out beds for a whole lot of people altogether, I suppose. Right?
That place.
Mm-hmm.
In Thessaloniki, we ask people how we go in the border, Macedonian border there. And we was very hopeful. That's the people we are talking. We have contact with the friends. They are waiting. They said, okay, tomorrow maybe the people say that they will open the border and we will continue our trip to arrive Germany, or doesn't matter which country we want to live, in which country we want to live. We arrive in the border, and we was waiting. Every day they say tomorrow. And tomorrow it's coming, and nothing happened. And after they said after tomorrow, and that's all.
And that was a tomorrow for 8 whole months, right?
For Pretty 8 months in the gas station. But this tomorrow, it's coming after 2 years in Greece. Exactly.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a lot of tomorrows, isn't it?
A lot of tomorrows. We have to sign. We have to count this tomorrow.
I mean, this is something that if you have a tomorrow in front of your eyes for that long and that tomorrow never comes, that must be one of the most dispiriting experiences. Did you ever feel like dispirited in a sense that I don't want to go on? Just like, like lose your will to live? I mean, was there any way where you lost your positivity, at least? Let me put it this way, because when I talk to you now, you're a very positive person. How was it back then for you?
One time after this waiting, when they said us tomorrow and after tomorrow and after tomorrow, I was very, very pessimistic person. And I hate everything. I don't want to do everything. At that moment, I really was in a bad situation. And also I hadn't, I learned the language, Turkish language. And when I arrived Greece, I said, okay, the people's now, I have a new life, but the people, I have also the new language. Maybe the people will understand me. Maybe the people will helping me, and I will ask, I will understand people. But when I arrived in Greece, no one talked Turkish. I was really in shock. What I spent all these years and I learned this language and no one understands me now. So what I have now, it's a new life. And then
you're starting again. I started
again. Also no friends, also the Greece, they have them language, them own language. The Ellinika, they say, I don't know.
Yes. And their own alphabet as well. But
many peoples also, they are talking English, and my background in the schools, I remember some words in English. I had used it with people, and I looking for some work to stay alive, because if I stay at home, I will be more bad, and I will have, I don't know what will happen after that. And I looking for some work. I found a work in ASEAN shop there, where I learned my language, my English, my broken English.
Your English is very good. Don't say that.
I didn't practice my English since 3 years. When I came to Germany, also here I'm learning the new language. I have new life, but good. I remember some words that can make this interview with you.
It is. I'm very impressed. Also, just for the record, quickly, I also saw German translations of your poetry already that you did that are absolutely amazing. It's such a high level. I'm very impressed. Really, I am.
I'm also impressed because I am here since July, and I've been coming back and forth, but I'm here since July. Amjad, I can't learn German. It is so difficult.
It's so difficult. I will divulge you.
For me, it's a piece of cake, really, but fine.
It's really so difficult. I will divulge you both one secret that since I was in B2, the language course, I hate everything, and I become to an idea that I will leave Germany. I will leave Germany. I really want to leave Germany because it's not passing to me. because I don't have life.
Yes.
I never go accessed here, and I never engage with people. Something here, new language, it's really difficult for me. But the teacher who teach me the language in the Betzwai, it was really, really so, he have really so high, how can say,
high motivation or high
motivation and,
passion. Maybe as well.
He have passion or skills, some very high skills to teach us the language, and he let me love this language and to continue love it, because I really was searching for some way how to travel some country who talk English.
That is very beautiful, because the thing is, I've been trying to convince people that actually German can be a very beautiful language as well. It's just on an international scale, I do not find a lot of followers for that thesis. So I'm very glad that you're saying that now as well.
Yeah, no, really, Amjad, you are an inspiration for me, because I'm also now doing a new beginning here, and I'm trying to learn this language, and I am thinking, my God, every time I try to do a lesson, I just quit after 5 minutes. My brain is baked, I feel my brain is becoming toast. So no, man, you are really an inspiration. I don't know how you managed to learn Turkish, which is also very difficult, and then you also learn German and all of that. I feel so small, really.
It is amazing, really, how you have used those opportunities that you had,
totally.
And made the most of that. So, because you learned languages and so on, and also life experience, of course. Now, just at this moment where you were, just to bring this quickly back, like you were living at the border, right? Waiting for a new tomorrow and a new tomorrow and a new tomorrow. You were living at a petrol station in a tent on hard concrete, waiting for the next tomorrow to come. How was your family faring at the time? Who was with you?
I was with my brothers, my sister, and my mom, who was 5 persons, who was waiting for this tomorrow. And
yes,
it's really hard. I don't know how the time was passing. The day it was like 1 year. Every day passing, it was like 1 year. We don't know what will happen, because yesterday I was with my friend. And I see one video on Facebook. The people there on Facebook, how the people, because it's really cold there between the tents, and the government or this Red Cross, they give us some woods to make fire, to be warm.
I remember the fire trucks, the firewood trucks coming into the camp. Yes, it was always like an experience where all people would run. Yes, absolutely.
The people running, and they was fighting to have one wood to make fire.
Yes,
and me also, I was inside the video, and I was really in shock how the video on Facebook, the people see me, but again, I am proud about that, because I am. If not, I will not be here again.
No, it is obviously, it is very cold. This is the only means of warming yourselves up. Of course, people are queuing and trying to get a bit of wood for themselves. That is just absolutely normal and understandable. I would just, because now you also got to, this is also the moment you discovered poetry, right? For you, when you were in Idomeni. This is where you had another tomorrow, follow another tomorrow, another tomorrow, another tomorrow. And this constant state of postponement, right? Yeah. And this is, I think, where you must have most probably felt the least unfree, the least able to express yourself the way you would like to. And this is when poetry fell into your lap, in a way. Is that how I could say it?
Yeah, that's right. Because at that moment I had a battle there between my mind and my heart. If not, I will follow what I will do. I will follow my mind, or I will follow my heart. If you will follow your heart, maybe, you will die, because the feeling sometimes killing you. But you have sometimes to foot on your heart and to follow your mind, because the life will not end when you say, okay, I will end my life, because your soul, it's not in your hand. I believe that my soul, it's not in my hand, because I will fight. I will make something to make better future. In the end, will happen what we believe that. I will believe in our culture that will happen what Allah wants, what the God wants, because it's not my life. It's not in my hand. That's why I have to follow something, to look something that make me better. Because if I will stay in my mood, the bad mood, the sad mood, I will have more sad situation. I will have more sad feelings, and I will never change nothing. This challenge, I was in really extreme challenge there between the heart and mind. What I want, to continue life, or to follow my heart, or to follow my mind, or to looking, because when when you are with your family, okay, when you are alone, that's in other situation. But when you are your family, with your family, and the family looking at you that you are very pessimistic persons, also the family will be more sad. We don't know what will happen. You can't help them. You must show them that you are happy, and the tomorrow will come one day, and this tomorrow, and the border will open again. Because if not, also I was not alone. The family also, they was looking at, and
yes,
you must be happy to show them that one day will be better. The life will be better.
So you have to project hope onto them, regardless of whether you feel it or not, because you are an embodiment of that hope for them right that moment as well. Yeah. Being a son, being all of this, right? So I also believe, after what you just said, that, it's the mind or it's the heart. Isn't poetry a beautiful way to create a union between the two of them? And maybe this is also why poetry became such a strong, had such a strong appeal to you, because you write with your mind, you use the structure and the semantics of a language, the mechanics of a language, but you're using that to express the content of your heart. So this is where it all comes together, right?
That's absolutely, you know what? Because the human being will be happy with love. When you love something, now I will say to Vicky, because now you are in the new life, you are looking for new life, new language. If you don't love what you are making, you will never have it. And that's this battle between my mind and my heart. I must find some ways, to make a bond, to make something to confront between, how can I say, the words, it's not coming in my mouth. But
you already said it, Amjad. You already said it. You just said it. If you need something to love, if you have something to love in your life, this is the meaning of all life to me as well. You need something to love, to give your love meaning, and to have that freedom also that you were looking for and that you were describing, and you found it in poetry, because it is a beautiful bridge between the two worlds that you have just described. I think that is a very powerful statement you just made.
You have to link,
very beautiful.
You have to link the love with your mind, the heart with mind. You have to link it, because if not, you will never feel better. I choose the love, because the love giving us more. The love, it's more emotional and giving us more good feelings, and the mind sometimes is tired. The mind tired you. The mind, they say this right, this not right. I have to look for new future. This is not life. I want to go back or something. But your heart, with the love, it's making the life easy.
Yes. Love makes everything a little easier.
The relationship between mind and heart, that's the love.
Beautiful. I will just leave it at that with you, with this, because that's wonderful. Do you have a poem to illustrate that a little bit, maybe? I'm thinking of, I have read, some of your poems. I feel that maybe...
I don't desire love.
I don't desire love. I think this is a great moment for you to read that poem to bring us back to this writing of yours.
Too.
So would you do us the honor and the absolute pleasure of reading that until people then have to settle for my second or third rate English version of that? Would you be so kind and read that to us?
Yeah, sure.
All right. The stage is yours.
Thank you. لا أرغب الحب والحب لا يرغبني أيضا. هذا شعاري الذي كان من قبل أن تدخل حياتي، من أضيق أبوابها كشعاع الشمس يغفو في عين الضريرة، ويقطب بخيوطه جرحا أنت نزيفه. كنت لا أزال مترنحا بجراحي على مسرح الحب، أمثل دور الضحية. كنت لا أزال مغطرسا بدمائي في بيداء القلب، تنعيني تلك الدمشقية كالحرية في بلادي، كبلادي دون حرية. وهل يشتهى الحب في بلاد كبلادي تصلب حروف الأبجدية؟ كنت لا أزال أبحث عني بين دفاتري والكتب، تراني لا أجد الهوية. كنت لا أزال أفتش عنك بعيون كل محب، تراني ضيعت القضية كالطوائف في بلادي، كبلادي دون طائفية. وهل يشتهى الحب في بلاد كبلادي ترفض العبودية وتمتهن السادية؟ آه منك وآه من بلادي ومن جميع الأغاني الوطنية. كم كان عيشي على ذكراكم مرا، كم كان موتي على يديكم شهية. آه منك وآه من بلادي ومن جميع الأغاني الوطنية. How you see it?
Beautiful. If it were for me, you could just go on. I would just lean back, pour myself another mint tea. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful.
Also, because now, as you read, I try to, read the translation to understand the words. But then I stopped because I said it's not about really the words. It's about the feeling and the way you recite your poet. Also, it's not, it's not a common thing to have the luck to hear the poem being recited by the poet himself.
Yes.
So it is quite of a rare opportunity. Usually we read poems in books or we listen to them, okay? But it's not often that we have the chance to actually listen to the poem from the person who actually wrote it. So for me, it is a very special moment. And it is very, very beautiful to also hear it in the language which was originally written. Even if I don't understand all the words, for me, it fills my heart with emotion.
You don't understand a lot of words. I understand no words, but okay, fine. You're obviously very far ahead. I think it's just the melody. I just love the melody of the Arabic language.
Thank you, Amjad.
Thank you too for your commenting.
Very beautiful poem, really.
And now I'm sorry that I have to be.
Now you have to ruin it a bit.
It's your turn, Bastian.
Well, good luck with that, right? As they say. So I will just third, fourth rate. I will, anyway, you'll get it. I will do my best again. At least that's all I can say. Mm-hmm. So I do not desire love. By Amjad Ramadan. I should say that as well. I didn't do that the first time. I do not desire love by Amjad Ramadan. I do not desire love. And love does not desire me either. This was my slogan. Before you entered my life from its narrowest gates, like a ray of the sun, falls asleep in my blind eye, and sutures me with its threads a wound that you are bleeding. I was still reeling with my wounds on the stage of love, playing the role of the victim. I was still infused with my blood in the desert of the heart that mourned me, that Damascus girl, like freedom in my country as my country without freedom. Does love in a country like mine crave stiffening the alphabet letters? I was still looking for me among my notebooks and books. Can I find the identity? I was still searching for you in the eyes of every lover. Did I lose the issue as the sects in my country, like my country without sectarianism? And does love covered in a country like my country that rejects slavery and professes sadism? From my country and from all the patriotic songs, how bitter I lived on your memories, as was my death on your hands lustful.
Great. Thank you very much for reading.
Thanks for saying that. Well, you did the translation. I'm just reading it as well as I can, and it's a lot of fun reading it as well. It's very, very beautiful, and I think.
But really, to be honest to you, that you give feelings to the word.
Well, because I will just settle for that then today. Thank you very much. All right. So then let's I think that was a beautiful moment to hear that from you.
I have a question about, all these podcasts that we are doing. It has to do with the role of the arts in times of crisis. And most of the crises, I think they are personal matters. Has this poem been inspired by a personal situation with regards to a person that you loved? And how do you think that poetry affects us in moments like this? Like, for example, in personal situations, in relationship, how has poetry, what has poetry been for you in times like this? Not regarding to life situations like us being in a new country and having to make a life, but more into relationship. Has poetry played a role in your...
Yeah, I think I understand what you mean, Vicky, but me as persons who can find himself in the love. And me, I find in the same moment when I lost, myself between the tents, and I was looking for something making me better, and I found love. Yeah, for sure, everyone he have some person in him life that he love it or something, but me, the girl which I love, I had lost it also when I live with the war. I had lost it when I leave Syria, but still now I don't. I am alone. I don't have anyone in my life, but me, I prefer to link always with my poem. I prefer to link the fighting between mind and the heart in some relationship like love. And a lot of friends, when they are reading my poem, they say, okay, you are in the relationship, you have some girls, but really, to be honest to you, I am alone here. And I don't love no one. That's not mean I am lonely or something. But me, with my poems, I am really in love. I have this relationship with the words. The words, they are my girlfriend. And always
wow.
I must link the poems, because if I will stay with only this side, it's the hard side, this destroyed side, I will never have good life. But that's why it's good idea to share, to link the bad feelings, the sad feelings with the love. This is my relationship.
That's absolutely beautiful. It sounds to me that you love, and that love is an engine that keeps you going.
For sure, yeah. When you love life, when you will love the lives also will love you too.
Yes, it's a reciprocal relationship. Absolutely, I believe in that very strongly as well.
Yeah, my relationship it's with the words. The words are my girlfriend. I can't play. I can do what I want with them.
I like that very much. I like that very, very much, Amjad. Very, very much. That's also a very, very beautiful question. So now let us just quickly just do the steps as well, just so we kind of go through the chronology a little further until we then just end up in where you are now, if you don't mind. So how was it for you then when you left, when you could finally, when that one tomorrow was actually really the tomorrow, when that actual tomorrow that you had been waiting for 2 years, when that came, how was that for you?
It's really beautiful. I can't find word to explain you that. But in the first moment, it's very difficult to coexist in some community which has a different cultures. But it's also never easy to engage here. Exile, because the exile is not much different than war. Both of them are killer. Each one has their own style. The war, it's killing your memories, it's killing it's destroyed your home, your friends, your relationships, but also the exile, because it's killing your soul. When you don't really find the really way to how to live here. But in the end, this war and exile, in the end, they have the same center of gravity. My view of war, apart from the fact that the war is destructive, the really success will come from the ashes. The really success will come from the ashes. And I have it in the same moment when I see I am free in the Germany. I will have a new life, and I can't imagine that. I never can't imagine that. I can't believe that. I personally, I seen life in exile like processes of digging wells to search the water in underground. First of all, we must to be patient, and then the honor of hope, and give trying with a high patience. If not, we will never get the water. That's my thinking, my opinion about. And the life does not love the pessimistic people, because when we challenge all these odds and step out into the world with a mature idea and innovative mind, we will love life, and life will love us too. While lazy people, zombie, we say, have no place for this love. They have no place for this love. I can't impress, and I can't believe that I am free again. By the time I could believe, and I live my life with this, because here you can say what you want, what you like, because no one can ignore you. I think I have the life what I was looking for.
That is, first of all, absolutely wonderful to hear you say that after getting to know more and more what your journey was like.
Bastian, because we must be hopeful and never let hopelessness to control us. We should never give up, even we fail down, because we must stand up again and try, because the success does not come from a void. We will never feel the blessing that we possess unless we lose it, and that I had lived.
And I think, this is something that just comes to mind when you say that. This is something that I think far too often we do not really make a topic in our conversations, namely that somebody to make it. And now we take your example of Germany also, because I'm quite familiar with Germany myself, having been born there and stuff. I believe what we fall short of most of the time is to realize that the people, like people like you, people from Syria, people who have escaped hardship to make a life somewhere else, is something. Also, Vicky, I mean, she's also making a life in Germany and left Greece.
Yes.
So this, first of all, this is something that is not something that is like something unique for a certain kind or group of people. This is something that has been going on ever since the first human beings have been recorded in history, right? Migration is something that has happened to improve your situation. But in this particular circumstance, well, this is kind of where I want to go with this, is we don't give credit to what it actually took someone to make this whole journey, in your case, from Syria to Germany, the kind of motivation, self-motivation they had to develop, the kind of hope that they had to continuously project outwards to themselves and to family to make it there. This really human enterprise of getting yourself from the one place to the other, and the effort and indestructibility that it takes is quite extraordinary. And I think we don't ever give it credit enough, because we just see it as you went from here to there without taking the entire journey into consideration, which is why I'm so very happy that you are sharing your journey with us today, because I think it makes it just makes that just so much more understandable and relatable to understand that better.
Of course, absolutely.
So we continue just a little more. Then you ended up in Evasmos, I think, right? You joined the UNHCR program. This is actually the UNHCR refugee program. This is actually the program that then got you from the petrol station that you had lived at for 8 months into a refugee camp in Greece, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And that was in Evasmos, close to Thessaloniki, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah, close to Thessaloniki, I think about 10 kilometers far than Thessaloniki. We go with a bus number 8, I think I remember, or 3, something like that. It's the camps. It's after IKEA. They have one IKEA. It's so big area there, and I don't really remember exactly of the past, but I spent there still. Our tribe, the UNHCR, that's they paying for us the tickets, and they said, okay, now the time that's to looking for new life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yes.
And from Evasmos, what was the route that you followed? From Greece, you took a plane, you took a bus through Macedonia, you took a plane. Oh, okay. You didn't have to go through all the country.
No.
Okay, that's better. All right.
I think it's enough. I think it's enough because I bus Turkey on the foot.
I mean, yes. Yes.
In the sea.
No.
I think it's enough.
That's exactly what I was saying. At least you didn't have to go through all of
Absolutely. If someone deserved the flight, it would be you. Exactly.
Totally.
Absolutely. But so you spent how much more time did you spend in Evasmos before you were then flown to Germany? You did fly to Germany from there, right? From Greece, then after you were accepted as an asylum seeker in Germany, you flew to Germany, right?
But after Evasmos also we went in one home. Also this UNHCR have rent one home for us. We was waiting in this home for a few months there.
Okay. But that must have been an incredible change to living in a tent on petrol station's ground to having an apartment that is rented for you. Wasn't that just an amazing, heaven
so
coming down on earth?
It was so beautiful and amazing moment that, after 6-7 years that I have a new home. I have a home again. I could not believe that. In the first, I could not believe that. Also, this home, because we spent 8 months on the border and about 5-6 months in Evasmos, and the last of the rest from these 2 years, we live in one home. I don't remember the places because I don't remember, but anyway, at that months in this home, we had a garden in the ground. And I start to import to flowers. I make many of flowers, and the people was in shock what I did. I changed this desert because the garden in the ground was like desert, no things inside, and I start to work there. I find myself between the flowers also. I had pictures for that. I made many pictures for my garden there. I make a very beautiful garden. I changed from a desert to one beautiful heaven.
Would you share some of these pictures with us, maybe, if you have them? I mean, obviously not now, because this is an audio podcast.
Of course, I have them.
Something you can send to us later.
The neighbors was in shock because they was, they was in shock how one guy it's coming and change all the life here, how it changed our desert to one heaven, and we have flowers, something. And every evening I am down in my garden. I was working and bought new flowers, something vegetables. Sometimes I make everything's,
You have. You have, I must say, this is something that obviously is something that's also very, very, that Vicky feels very passionate about, gardening, about flowers, plants. She's sitting here with wide open eyes and being very, very touched by what you're saying, because she's absolutely relating. She would love to see the images.
Right? I also have my garden back in Athens, and I remember how much time I spent there, because it's a beautiful thing to create life, to take care of life, to create beauty. So the moment you said that, I totally feel how you feel. So yes,
and it is also what Vicky misses the most, because in Greece we have a rooftop, with a lot of plants, a lot of flowers that she makes shine, and it is so beautiful. It is like the Garden of Eden, and it is like walking amongst her spirit, and so yes, she absolutely relates to what you just said.
Because at that moment, it was so necessary to search someone can understand you. It was difficult because I don't know no language, only the Arabic and Turkish, the Turkish language, and I didn't know the English. I hadn't learned at that moment, and because the flowers, it's good that the flowers, they don't have language because I can understand them. Them language, it's the feeling. When you give, when you feel them, they feel you also. That's why, I spend all the time between the flowers because no one can understand me, and I don't know no one. I think, because I miss the social life. We have in our culture, the social life, it's very, very high, have high passion there. We have here, I don't know. Still now, I can't believe that how the neighbors, they don't know each other. No one, no one knows the other.
Yes.
Them social life, I don't know.
The anonymity of living next door to each other. I know it is something very prominent in German cities.
Also, they just stay inside for so much time because, I think it also has to do with the climate, Amjad, because, in Syria and in Greece, the climate is so much better. So you are spending outside more time, Here, people are in their houses all the time. So I find it difficult. I think it also has to do with that they are not used to being outside, apart from some months in the summertime. So I think that has affected the way that they see social life. They are more close to, so while in Greece, and in Syria, the weather is so much better. You can spend outside for 7-8 months a year. It's fine. It's not cold. Here, it's just 2-3 months a year that it is a bit warm and you can go outside. Then you just sit inside and it's freezing cold. So yes.
Me personally, I like the life in Greece. They have them social life. It's so good. And so I like it too much. Here, I don't know why. Maybe because of the weather or something others, but I don't know. I can't. They are very strong.
Yes,
the neighbors don't know the others. In Greece, I didn't feel much different than our culture because them social life, they have a lot of. You can just to go outside and the people they smell it. They are friendly and also here friendly. They are smelling on your face. But they don't have contact. They are afraid to have contact with you. I don't know why. I don't know.
Can I tell you something? This is what I took. That's why I mentioned earlier in your introduction also the Jiran, because it's something that Jim and I, who was with me, we experienced that. At on the first level. Like we were there, we arrived in Idomeni, and all of a sudden, right away, people were there. They were taking care of us. They were feeding us with the little that they had. Like it was just, you live next to each other, so you better know each other. And it makes absolute sense, of course, because if you're together, you have a community and you're always stronger together, which is a hashtag of the show anyway. So it is something that holds true. And I have really learned so much about Arabic culture by just living there. Not nearly enough. Don't get me wrong. I'm not even an expert in any way, but I learned at least so much to know that hospitality is something that is lived in the Arabic culture, and it is something that is unparalleled in anything that I have come across. And for this, I am extremely grateful. And I understand also how strange it must be for you to be living in a German city where I wouldn't say that, you can't get to know your neighbors and you can't have good relationships with them. I have had that in the past before, but it is definitely a lot more difficult, and it is not as self-speaking as you are used to that as well. And it depends on very much how much of an effort you make a lot of the times. Yes. Yeah. So it just shows, this other new beginning, that you,
another one.
Exactly. That you had to, face up to in Germany. So now, that having said that, how was your beginning in Germany? You moved in with your brother. That's why you went to Neuss, right? Because your brother was there and you joined him there. And now you've been there for 3 years, I think you said,
yes,
right?
The tickets of my brothers to fly from Greece to Germany, it was 1 month before me. And in this month, because, there he was the term and me after him in about 1.5 months. So he came first in Germany. He was living in Neuss, and I asked the BAMF here, the government, if I can live with my brothers. And then after 10 days or 20 days, I have the answer from the government. They said, okay, it's allowed. They're accepting my asking. And then I come to Neuss. We had living in one camp in Bomona, here in Neuss. We live for some months, and then we have luck also. We was looking for the home. We don't know the language at that moment. And we was using our English to search for home, and we had luck. We find one home and we stay together. And after also my mom spent more years in Greece. After 1.5 years, also she have the tickets and she come to Germany. And I register him in my home. And we are living together still now.
Nice. So you're living together as a family?
We're living together.
Very beautiful. So how was it? Now, we also experienced that, or we already expressed that it's a very different, culture, Germany and Syria, obviously. And not even, to say what's better, what's worse, but obviously different. So did your writing help you? Because I see how, you're also writing your first poems, like language, right? It is a very important bridge between people of different cultural backgrounds. Language is something that connects. Language is something that you can exchange on. So how was your poetry, your writing, your understanding of language, your art form helpful in finding the social integration in Germany that you were looking for?
The first moment when I
It is a process. Just quickly. It's obviously a process and ongoing. It will always be like it is with me in any other country. But how is it helping you?
Of course. It's, it's not easy. It's not easy to go access with a different community here. But the first moment when I come, my family also, my grandmother, my grandfather, many uncles also, they was living 6-7 years ago in Cologne. In Köln. My first visit to them there, and I see them dome there. I see the people, and I see the people, how they have the bridge there. The people lock it, them locks, and throw the keys in deep of river. And I was looking the people. Yes. I was looking them smile, and them. I don't know the language. Just I'm feeling them. I'm feeling them from them smile. And then I become to this idea to write this poem, because this poem, what I write, it, I think of Arabic, I say Khamru Dam al-Watan. It's, the translating of this name, it's the blood in my home like wine. And this poem has a special character to me. because I have been writing this poem in the early days of arriving in Germany. It's the first poem in Germany in my early days. Specifically, when I was wandering around Dome in Cologne, looking at Dome, bridge, and locks, see the smile on the faces of tourists, nostalgia robs me at that moment to my beloved country, Syria. And the tears of memories began to fall on my cheeks, as if they were rivers of fire. How many countries, how the country of civilizations turned to a desire to drown it in blood. At that moment, I come to this idea and have writing this poem. And after, I become like a child again, like I born again.
Wow.
I was breathing with this poem.
How long did it take you to write the poem?
Few hours.
And the German translation?
German translation, I'm about 4 or 5 hours, but because I was looking the words, because, I tried, because you never, no poem can really translate it from the original language. We will try to give the feelings, we will try to give the meaning, what we are meaning in this poem, because we never can letter by letter. We can live word by word, but we can deliver the meaning about.
So, how can I put this? So you're translating your poetry from Arabic into German. Does it make you? How does it help you understand? Let me actually make it a question, of course. How does it make you feel closer to German culture? Can you describe that? How does it help you to bridge over?
I think because I have to try to translate my poems to deliver my idea, to deliver my poems, to let people understanding what I'm writing, because I am in one community who have not my same language, my Arabic language, because what I'm writing I'm sharing on Facebook, but also I have to have one translate that the people around me can understand what I mean about what I am talking. And I giving more power to learn the language with more words, because I am using in my poem, it's very hard work in Arabic, and it's also difficult for me to translate it to German, because the German language is really difficult. It's not like how I have imagined, but it's good. By the way, and with training, when you are training that, when you are trained that, you will have it in the end. And also I have a lot of friends. I have one friend, she is my neighbor. I learned here and I'm talking with her English. She is very friendly and very good. She is helping me in many things also. And sometimes when I found problems in translate or something I need in this, she can help me always. She is ready to help me always.
That's very good. I think so. It's really what it does to some degree. It also helps you build a relationship, right, with the German language through having your poetry.
Of course. It's helping me to learn new words, to learn new grammatic, something, how to impress, how to deliver your meaning. Because, the words, not every word they have the same meaning, but you can't use some words in these steps because we'll have the other meaning. It's difficult. Yeah. It's really difficult. And also the poem to translate it, it's really, really difficult, hard work. It's not easy.
Can I say something? I believe that doing that, though, you know what the beautiful thing is about learning a language like that is because with poetry you form, I think, the most intimate relationship you can with any language, because you must be aware of all the ambiguities, all the double meanings, which means the same, obviously. So I just totally did something unnecessary there. But, and all the drawbacks of a language, all the richness of a language. Through poetry, you get to the actual, like the character and the absolute meaning of a language and what it stands for. And I think therefore learning a language like that is a very rich way of learning a language. And a beautiful one at the same time. So, but in all honesty, though, does it also sometimes frustrate you to translate from Arabic into German? I think it must be also frustrating sometimes, right? Probably.
Yeah, of course. The language is because it's personality. Every language, it's one other personality. Because every tongue, what you are talking, you are other persons when you are talking. And also, it's so often to take you in other community, in other cultures. You will see, you will have a lot of character. Your identity you will have a high, you will have a level. Your level will be more high when you are translated your language, and also the poem, the translation poems will help you to arrive more people, you have more relationship, and that's I think the language every language have them character, and you will have also more character. Me, I am so different when I am in English mood. I am different than the person who is in Arabic mood. I have many moods.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Don't we all?
Don't we all? We have a lot of different moods. Would you read that poem?
The Rhine.
Should we actually end with that? I think maybe we end with that, because before we do read the poem, I would like to also understand from your side, like the quarantine and the COVID pandemic as it is now. Now we're in second lockdown, just so everybody can also place this in time while we're having this interview. The second lockdown in Germany. How has this influenced you in your work? And how have you maybe even come up with new work, new poems during this time?
It's how sad this world is this year, and how many people taken them the death from our world. And we don't know too if we are the next. And still now we hate the others, we hate ourselves. We don't looking what we want. Always we are doing, because we have to do it. I think the quarantine have more advantage despite the wounds and scars. We have to revise in this quarantine our cultures, calculations, and recreate a skeleton of life. We should be more human and more emotional. I ask everyone who has not yet discovered their talents to give more power and search for their hidden talent. Because every human have born with untalent. The talent requires effort to uncover it. Talent does not come easy. I know the pressure does not provide the necessary opportunity, but by means of this guarantee, we must strive to research, and absolutely we will reach our conclusion. I ask everyone to use this guarantee for things that make them happy and more real and more human. For example, reading. I found myself with reading. In my life, I never had imagined that one day I will read one book. I can't. I don't have the passion to read one book. But now, the reading, it's making life. Reading, why not? The reading is the key of success. And that is what I do in my guarantee. I prefer also the typical type of reading, because reading books while you are holding the book in your hands, it's much better than online books. The reason is that the pages have a smell, and let's say a sexy perfume. You can't smell it with e-books. Really, you can't smell it with e-books. Because
I know, I agree. Totally.
You can't neither travel between a word and embodiment the scene. Never with e-books. Reading is the soul of life. By reading we live. Reading is life. I think it's my side. And also I know with reading we have to look forward, and we will have better life.
I agree absolutely, because I love reading. I mean, I'm a voracious reader as well, but I do use an ebook reader, though. In all honesty, but I do miss that smell that you just described. And when you said that, I was like, yeah, I know. I love that smell. And I do also miss it
Really?
occasionally, especially. Yes, I do. No, I do occasionally eat a book. Well, kind of, read a book, and it's very, and then I just realize, yes, that smell of a book, that opening it up for the first time is just something, so, it's something so ethereal, actually. So, I can totally relate to that. So it's like, I would like to ask you, after what you've just described as well, the positivity that you have described, the hope that you have. I think you're also the perfect person to ask what opportunities you see in this crisis, like the COVID pandemic as we have it now, and then maybe even more general in crises in general. But let's start with this pandemic. Where do you see the opportunities in it for us as the human race?
I think that we will have more emotional people, more human people. The people, they will not ignore the others, because I don't know why the war exists still now. I don't know. The people must to be more emotional, more human, because we will live one life. We don't know if tomorrow I will die or not, or after one moment. I can't guarantee that. I can't guarantee that. And why not to have good life, to have good social life? I think the guarantee many peoples, they have to look them side and to search for them talent, and to looking the other peoples, to make, why to be alone, to be lonely in this life. I don't think the people, they can test them life, because the life have a test. You can't testing that if you with the friends making life. When you don't have friends, you will not have life. And now the people, when they close it, the lockdown, we have the second lockdown in Germany, and this lockdown, I don't know. For me, for example, who I'm coming from community, which they are full in social life. And here I see it's very, very strengthened. The people, everything is closed. We don't have life, nothing else to do, sit home, no social life. The people making life, the friends making life. When you lost your friend, you will feel so sad. I think the quarantine will help us. The quarantine will have more effects on the people. The people now, they become more human. They have more emotion. They are more emotional. I hope also the people to looking and to looking for them side what they are doing, to do what they love, to don't do what they don't because they must to do. They have to do what they love, because when you love something that you are doing, you will have it and you will enjoy the moment. If not, just you will pass the moment. And we will live only one. I think we will live only one life, and why not to make our life it's good and have no. Yeah, I think that.
I think this, we've kind of come full circle here, because what you are describing is exactly what you have, what you're leading with by example. Because for the one thing, I think we have to put our focus on what really matters to us in life. I think with this constant scenario of threat to our health, to our communities, we have to also focus on what matters to us most. And because of this, we also have to focus on what matters to us most personally. And this brings us back to what you said earlier about to that moment that you had when you were devoid of hope, when you had heard 2,000 tomorrows and you were like, okay, what do I do with this? And lost a little bit your positivity, your hope, and maybe even your will to carry on with this life. Mm. And then that is when you discovered poetry. This is when you started writing. This is when you started to do something constructively with everything that you were experiencing and feeling. And
Exactly.
with that, you moved out of that feeling of maybe being a victim of world history, of politics, and you became an active supporter of yourself. And this is what poetry did. You fell in love with yourself. You fell in love with the concept of love itself by doing it. And I think this is kind of, yes, absolutely. We have no other choice, actually. Otherwise, we will live in misery. I absolutely agree with you, which doesn't mean that we shouldn't be self-critical as well, but also self-critical you can be with looking at yourself lovingly. That's a whole other very big
because
topic.
no one will love you more than yourself.
Yes, exactly. It shouldn't be, at least. But yeah, that's also a very big topic. But I think this is what you have shown. What you are saying right now is what you have done and shown us, and you're backing up that claim with your life's journey so far. And that is why it is very touching to me and a very strong claim to make indeed. And I want to thank you very much for making that. And I think this is a great moment to also, finish our ride in the yellow van for today. Because I believe this is the most positive and beautiful way of looking at the future, regardless of what it has to bring. So, but before we do that, before we go, I would very much like you to read the last remaining poem that we have on our reading list today. Mm-hmm. And that would be On the Rhine, the poem you just described that you were inspired by when you were standing in Cologne on the Rhine Bridge and you saw all these tourists and the lovers, actually. I mean, it's all about the lovers and locking their little, locks there and throwing the key into the Rhine to as a token of their eternal love, right?
Yeah,
this is what they're doing. So we would be very happy if you could read that poem to us at the end of this very, very beautiful interview, Amjad. Would you do that? Are you ready for that?
I am ready always.
All right. Like always. I have it open here as well. So please go ahead and read the beautiful poem On the Rhine River by Amjad Ramadan.
أراني أعصر خمرا كالعنب أعصر خمرا أضيع في خابية العمر سنينا لا أرى النور فيها لا أرضع من شمس أمي حليب صفوية لا أحظى بنهد ولا أتحسس طعم شفاه تتلذذ بمأكلي فبين الكؤوس الفارغة العابرة أغمر بالجروح وأي حظ عاثر هذا الذي أمتلكه وأنا لم أفرم بعد فقبل موعد ولادتي حان فطامي ليقلني قطارا عابرا ريحا صرصرا من محطة العمر الأخيرة من خابية العمر إلى كرخانة المشمئزين التي لا تبدو على أنها أكثر نصفا من قرينتها لأصاغ لقمة سائغة في حلق السكارى الموجوعين أمثالي وملامح البؤس تأكل الصمت بعيون المنتظرين الجرح لا يكويه إلا جرحا والخيانة لا يطفئ شرارتها إلا خمرا خمر دم الوطن على نهر الراين بعيدا عن هنا قريبا من هناك لي قفل معقود الحاجبين ليس ككل الأطفال ولي وردة ومفتاح يرسيان في قاع النهر أنا المتأمل على الطرف الآخر المنتظر اسم محفور على القفل لا يقرأ، ومفتاح في قاع النهر لا يرى. آلاف الأقفال وقفلي واسمك والنور يثقب السماء. صقلت المياه اسمك، رسمت الرياح ملامحك، وجمع جسر حديدي مطلي بالحنين بنانك، وعطرك توسده الصدى. الشمس تأبى الشروق، والغروب أعلن حداده. القلم يأبى المضي خوف جرحك، والحبر ينزف دما. الورق أخذ دور الأم، يدور بين النجوم باحثا عن أمان يغطيك. أما أنا سارح بخيالي والوهم، ويداي ترتجفان من شدة الصرح. الجميع خائف هنا، الجميع خائف هنا. عيناي، يداي، قلبي، رئتاي، والمصطبة الجالس عليها في الركن منسيا. لا أنا قادر على جمع شتاتي، ولا وطني قادرا على لملمة أشلائه. ما عاد شيئا يروي الفؤاد. ذبل الياسمين هناك، والزيتون يرتجف قصبا. كل شيء قد يبس وجف، حتى قصيدتي هذه فهي إلى هلاك. إلا أنا ما زلت مفعما بالإيمان يا وطن، ففي قلب كل حي منك وميت لي وطنا. إلا أن الخريطة كلها. القدر يلعب لعبته، غيم عائم بالدماء، وأرض مبللة لا تكاد لمياهها أن تجف. برق ورعد مدججان بثكلات اليتامى والنساء، وريح على ظهرها حرب لا تستحي. هذه الحرب فعلا لا تستحي، ولا أريد لقصيدتي هذه أن تنتهي وأرضي تتقيأ الوجع، كما الجرح يتقيأ الوهم والعمل. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، هكذا كانت تناديني. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، هكذا كانت تناديني. من شق قفل أكله الصدأ في الأعماق. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، هكذا كانت تناجيني. من خرم مفتاح هوى في السماء. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، هكذا كانت ترتجيني. من ندى وردة قتلت ونثرت في العراء. دع الأعذار جانبا وتعال. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، لنتقمص دور العاشقين. نكسر العادات والتقاليد، نكسر القيود، ونحلق فوق عرش الوشاة الحاقدين. وليحفر اسمنا خلف المدى. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، نجيب فيروزا أننا هنا نحن الصباح. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، نؤكد لدرويش أننا هنا، وأن قدسية الحب لا تمس. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، نقول لنزار أننا هنا نحن الأحق بشعرك، نحن من يستحق. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، نزف أحلامنا على نغم الساهر. نحن النغم ونحن الحلم. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، لا توقظ نارا أخمدتها الصبا. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، لا تهتك قلبا أنهكه الجفا. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، لا تقتل روحا أتعبتها الكرى. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، نسافر خلف المدى، نراقص النجوم على أنقاضنا. لقد بح صوتي المدمى عليه وهو يناديك. لقد بح صوتي المدمى عليه وهو يناديك. قتلت أحلامي العارية على الشاطئ، باحثة عن أمان يغطيك. فحمص الخراب لم تعد سوى تراب، وسورية الجريحة إلى زوال. هيا اركض نحوي تعال، الصمت في جوفي بح صوته وهو يناديك. ما نفع الشاي الأخضر، ما نفع الأعشاب والبحة في القلب. السكر أذيب علقمة، والبلور حادا يدمي، وأنا على المصطبة جالس وأنا على المصطبة مدمى علي غارقا بدمع الأسى أصرخ لا أصرخ ما من مجيب أنده لا أنده ما من مستمع أناجي لا أناجي ما من ملبي أبكي لا أبكي البكاء مر أضحك لا أضحك الضحك جنون أموت لا أموت نعم أموت نعم أموت. That's
Well done. It's like shukran. Shukran, Habibi.
Afwan. You're welcome. Thank you for hearing that.
So now here's my...
Thanks for reciting. Now here comes Basti. People, brace yourself.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much.
It's such a beautiful poem. I think even I could read it nicely. So...
Yes, you
because
could.
I have a weird voice. That's why I'm saying.
That's why you're saying that. You don't have a weird voice. I like your voice.
Me.
I think you have a very beautiful voice.
Thank you. Thank you for the compliment.
Yes, you're very welcome. So I will read the English version then. And I'm sorry for the third-rate reader that I am and everything. So
Sure?
I will do it now. It is right here. Okay. So, On the Rhine River by Amjad Ramadan. Like grapes squeezed my soul to get wine. I lost much years in the life jug. I never see the light in it. I don't breastfeed my pureness milk of my mother's son. I don't have a breast. I don't feel lips taste enjoying in my eaten. Between the empty glasses I wounded, and what is the chance I have? I am not ripe after. Before my birth, in some seconds, my ablectation is coming to take me a train like wind from last station of my age to the disgusted brothel that is not equitable from another. To shaped me a bit-eaten throat of suffering drunks like me, and poverty features eating the silence and waiting eyes. The wound is only, with another harder wound gets healed, and betrayal extinguishes only with sparkling wine. The blood in my home like wine on the Rhine River, so far from here, so close from there. I have a lock like knotted eyebrows. It isn't like any lock. I have flower and key. Docked in deep of the river, I pensive and waiting on the other side. Name engraved on the lock, not read it, and key in deep of the river, not see it. Thousands of locks, and my lock and your name, the light back through the sky. The water is refrained your name, the wind paint your face, and bridge of Ferris coated of nostalgia collected your fingertips, and your perfume occupied the echo. The sun reject sunrise. And sunset announced morning. The pen reject goes on fear of hurting you. Ink is bleeding. Paper token the role of the mum spins between the stars. Research about safety covers you, but me, stray in my imagination and my illusion, my hands shivering from harsh truth. Everyone is fear here. My eyes, my hands, my heart, my lungs. Terrors that I was set here forgotten. I can't collect my scattered, and also my home can't to pick up shreds. Nothing watering the heart. Jasmine wilted over there, and olives shivering reeds. Everything is dry until my poem to destruction, except me. I'm still full of faith, my home. In my heart everyone is alive. I have home, except you are all map. Destiny play the role, clouds natant of blood. Land is wet, its water can't dry up. Lighting and thunder loaded over bereaved orphans, and women. Wind have war not ashamed. This war, actually, not shamed. I don't want ending my poem. My land vomiting bitterness as wounding, vomiting illusion and separation. Come on, run to me. Come, like this was calling me from incision of lock. It is full of rust in deep. Come on, run to me. Come, like this was calling me from pierce of key evaporation in the sky. Come on, run to me. Come, like this was said, please. From dew of water was killed and scattered in outdoors. Leave the excuses aside and come. Come on, run to me. Come to take role of lovers, to break habits, break traditions and restrictions, and fly above a throne, malevolent informers, to engravers our name behind the run. Come on, run to me. Come, let answer Firaz. We are here. We are the morning. Come on, run to me. Come, let confirm Dervish. We are here in the sanctity of love not touched. Come on, run to me. Come to tell Nizar we are here. We are the most deserving your poem. We deserve. Come on, run to me. Come, announce our dreams on the tune of Al-Sahar. We are the tunes and dreams. Come on, run to me. Come, don't awaken a fire trail of boyhood. Come on, run to me. Come, don't fret heart exhausted at the dimension. Come on, run to me. Come, don't kill soul tired at the drowsiness. Come on and run to me. Come, let traveling behind the run. Let dancing the stars on our rubble, my bloody voice's hoarseness when it was calling me. My naked dream that on the beach was killed, researching about safety to cover you. Destruction's hums, it is just soil. Wounded Syria for demise. Come on and run to me, come. The silence is within my hoarseness voice. And calling you it didn't work, green tea. It didn't work, weeds. The hoarseness at the heart. The sugar dissolves leeches. The sharp crystal body. The sharp crystal bloody, and I'm in terrors bloody, drenched in sorrow tears, screaming, screaming. I am not screaming. There is no answer. Call. I'm not calling. There is no listener survivor. I'm not surviving who not fulfills. Cry. I'm not crying. The cry is bitter. Laugh. I'm not laughing. The laugh is madness. Die. I'm die. I will not die. Yes, I'm die. Yes, I'm die.
Bravo, Bastian. Thank you very much.
Bravo,
Well,
Amjad. Wow.
That's
a hell of a strong poem.
and a lot to take in as well. My word, that's very beautiful. Amjad, thank you very much for sharing
Thank
it
you
with
too. Thank you too.
us. And thank you very much for entrusting it to me, despite obvious lack of talent.
It's really you're doing well. I think also with your voice the words have more feelings.
Thank you very much. I tried to put as much in there as I can, and you made it easy though. It is a very very expressive poem, I have to say. And,
I hope also Vicky have enjoyed with this tribe.
Yes.
It is I've enjoyed both versions, the Arabic in a different way and the English in a different way. And yes, and no, I really remember how I felt when I first read one of your first poems, the Without Refuge, and now so many years after, how you have, because I try to follow also you on Facebook and see your poetry and everything. Most of it, of course, is in Arabic, so I'm not so good in Arabic, just like I'm not so good in German, but I still really remain your fan, Amjad. Really, you inspire me very much in a beautiful, emotional way, and I think this poem, also with it being so long, it takes you away with it. I find it hard now to put words.
It's a journey as well.
It's a journey, exactly. I would like to, now that we have the opportunity to have your poem also in English, I would like to read it again and again and again. And it's really an honor, my friend. I feel really very touched the way you shared your poetry and your world. I think this there is no better way, I think, to end this podcast than to have done with this poem. Really, it's for me.
Yes, I believe it shows. It is summing up everything that we have been talking about very much, and it is. You can find this journey. Yes, in this poem.
I am so glad to hear that from you both. I think when you write some poem from the heart, because you are feeling. Me, I'm persons, I can't write something that I never feel it. For example, if you ask me now to write something about some situation, I will not find any word. That's why I think it's so important when we write poems to feel that, because I was living the moment. That's why I think it's touched you and touched Vicky, because when you are writing from the heart, what you are feeling, you had lived this scene, then the poem will be full with feelings.
Yes.
Yes, but it also, I think, takes talent to transfer your feelings into another medium. Either it is a poem or a photograph or a film. It takes a lot of effort to be original, to be expressive, to let this feeling flow out of you into something else. And I find it also very difficult for me to do that, because it takes a lot of courage to show that you are emotional, to show that you have feelings, that you are not afraid of people judging the way that you feel. And I think this itself is growth. We grow as people, we become better, we become more mature as people through this. So I think it takes a lot of courage in this world, which is so emotionless sometimes and cruel, to come out and with the courage of emotions.
It is also beautiful.
It takes courage, yes. And that is why I believe so much that art can bring us together. Even if I might not understand sometimes your poems in Arabic, for me, the feeling that you put into your poetry reaches out to me. So you see also how barriers become non-existent, because the feelings are universal. And this is what brought us together. And I think this is why your poetry for me is so inspiring, because it is so full of original emotion. And I find this extraordinary.
Thank you very much. I am glad to hear that. Thank you very much.
I'm glad that Vicky took all the words out of my mouth now towards the end. It is very wonderful that I don't have to do the talking. People won't believe that, I suppose, but fine. I have to tell you, I think this is a wonderful moment to come to an end with our conversation, because I think it's come full circle and you have shared yourself with us in such a beautiful way. I want to thank you for taking the time, for the trust you have in us, and for sharing your life story with us, and looking at what we have just covered. I believe it is safe to say, and this is the beautiful thing, that with every new beginning, at least comes a new poem. And I think you have absolutely illustrated that today. So thank you very much, Amjad, for coming on the Elovan with us today.
Thank you too for inviting me through your program, podcast, Elovan Stories. And I am so glad to share my experience with you and with Vicky to hear it again here. And so happy for here. And I wish here nothing but the best here in Germany and to give more power. Everything will be really in one day.
Yes. And sorry, one question I want to ask before we go, because you also said, because I always ask for inspiring works you've come across, and you have said you read so much. Is there a book in particular that you've read lately where you're like, that's worth taking a look at?
I don't understand what you mean about.
Do you have you have been reading a lot, you said. Is there a book in particular, like a book that you liked very much? Which one?
I think I am reading books in Arabic, but some books I don't know if they have translation.
Yes, but give us an Arabic name. I'm sure there will be translation as well.
Yeah, I think also for my favorite writer, it's Ayman Al-Outoum. It's from Jordan. And we have a lot of books. I think it's the book 19. It's so amazing book that's really touched me. And it's 19. It's the number 19 of Arabic 19. It's 19. This book, it's so amazing book. And it's talking about the life under the ground and the life on the ground, how we are living the life and how looking life. I think it's so, it's really touching me. And it's my favorite book.
We will take a look. Thanks for sharing that with us. So with that, there's someone next to me who wants to get in. Yeah, yes.
With the hope that one day we will also hold a book with your poems in our hands, and then maybe we can have another interview to talk about your first poetry collection. That would be beautiful. And if it is something that you want, I really hope that soon it will become reality, and I really hope that you can continue your journalism journey as well here in Germany. And really, Amjad, I would very much like to meet you. So when this Corona is over, maybe it would be worth it. Yes, it would be nice. Now we are not that far, so
we will drive the actual yellow van to Neuss and go for Mate tea with you.
I will be so happy to see you and Vicky here in Neuss.
And with this, we've come to the end of this very special episode of the Elovan Stories. Thank you so much, Amjad, for sharing your story with us and being full of love and strength in spite of it. You remind me that how we perceive the world and our fate is a choice, and in it lies our greatest power. All information about Amjad and his work you can find in the show notes, along with the relevant links to today's conversation. If you have your own inspiring story to tell, or you know somebody who does, get in touch with us on www.yellowvanstories.com, where you can also leave us your general feedback or ideas for improvements. And boy, I'm sure you can think of a few. The hashtags for the show, Learning on the Job and Stronger Together, are therefore no coincidence. The Elovan will be parked for the next 3 weeks over Christmas. We hope to welcome you back aboard on January 14th, 2021, with a brand new idea that I shall tell you all about in the very first episode after the break. Now, how is that for a cliffhanger? I wish you a wonderful Christmas amongst your loved ones and a blessed New Year. Thank you very much for your time and attention. We sincerely hope traveling in the Elovan could offer you some insights, maybe some inspiration, or at least a little bit of distraction. In the meantime, stay healthy, keep loving, and always remember, we're all in this together. Now, take it away, Jim.